I've been joined in the studio now by Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. Is an analyst. He's here to do some justice to the matter, which is actually about campaign updates and what's going on in the political scene now. But I think what's interesting now is that these policies, the governance, are somehow eating into politics, and it's almost becoming one. But let's see how our guest does justice to that today. Welcome to the program. Good afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Before we go into deeper matters and campaigns and all that, let's talk about what we just saw there. That's how Nigerians are reacting to the new Naira redesign. What do you make of the political undertones to this? We've seen a number of persons in different formats anyway. The PDP candidate asked for an extension. He besought the government to do that. Others say that, take for instance, just recently, the NNPP presidential candidate, Kwankwaso, says that some presidential candidates have banks. And he seems to allude or allege or hints that, that could be some of the reasons we're seeing this. And then, to crown it all, we have the APC presidential candidate who took it as sort of a personal attack on him, and he says that people are hoarding the Naira, and even if they do that, he will win. So what do you make of the political undertones to this, and how do you think Nigerians are faring?
You heard them. I think there was nobody who said the policy is a good one. And this is because I think, let me aptly put it this way, and it also has security implication. And I have been wondering why the National Security Advisor has been quiet over issues like this. Let's look at it this way. A tiny stick of match ignited by a naughty playful child on a combustible object may develop into an inferno that could consume a whole village. But if an elder around would keep a watchful eye or put an end to the initial playful fire, it will save the whole the village and the content therein. Now, what is happening? If something serious is not done, if they continue in this same way, we might have crisis that will escalate into war, and that is the problem I foresee. I am not a prophet of doom, but when you look at the reality on ground, you will agree with me that there's a serious problem. There's no way how do you come up with a policy that it is meant to dehumanize Nigerians? Those, whether it has political undertones, those big politicians, they have this cash with them. It is, and we are in a country where at least, even from the NBC, more than 63% of Nigerians are poor, extremely poor. But at least 80% of Nigerians are poor. And if you go to the entire north, you will find out that there are many people who do not even own a bank account. It is in the north you will meet people who have up to 5 million naira and they have never opened an account. The majority don't have account, and in some places there are no banks. Like the state where I come from, Kogi State, I am from Ida local government, and the neighboring local government, Ibaji, there's no single bank in the entire of the local government. I live in Kaduna State. I think I heard Erufai saying that there's a local government that is very big, but with just one bank. And there are several others like that in many places. Even in Nigeria, in Abuja, where you have banks, there are you cannot get money. I was on the queue yesterday at Zenith Bank. After staying for a long period of time, I was told that I could only withdraw 1,000 naira. I was angry. I said, if you should have told me there's 1,000 naira so that I don't waste my time. How do you keep me for a long period of time, only for it to get to my turn, you see, I'm withdrawing only 1,000 naira. This is my money we are talking about. Oh. I didn't go to Zenith Bank to borrow money. I wanted to withdraw my money. Let me tell you this, a personal story that happened to me before coming here. I needed to come here and to do certain things. I needed just 500 naira. I looked around for POS. All the POS agents don't even have money. And I needed to meet up with the time. I called somebody, Chushina, that say, you know me. that I will not run. The thing is that I know you don't have bank account for me to transfer 100 naira to you. So polish my shoe. Once we meet again, I will give you your money since you know me. I also met another person who gave me money to do other things again, just like that, because no bank account, no, and you can't get money. So it's a serious problem. And this thing is happening to many people in this country. Why will this government, they don't listen? But what they have failed to understand is that this thing might consume all of us, including the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Because as it is now, people are angry. People are frustrated. I mean those who have money. What about those that don't even have money? It is affecting businesses. The MFLA cannot sit down under AC and be doing nonsense all in the name of policy. What rubbish is that? You can't sit down under AC and you just be doing whatever you want. I know it is not only Emefiele, it is the instruction from the president. Emefiele on his own cannot wake up and begin to do something like this. He must get the approval from the president. The president has advice. I don't know what they are advising him about. The entire country is disorganized because of this policy now. People who have money cannot make use of their money. Even the transfer, you see, there's no network. The network is very poor. With the poor network, and majority who don't even have a bank account, majority don't even use Android phone. So how do you come up with this policy? You should have put some things in place, or make the currency available in some places. At least let some people, let people who want to take money up to, even if it's 20,000, 50,000 naira a day, they should be able to take money like that. This, I just feel it is just pure wickedness.
What about the proposed benefits, which is that politicians will not be able to buy votes and so on and so forth? They are trying to limit the money, that has been hoarded by corrupt persons and so on and so forth. So, do you think all this hardship is worth that goal, and do you think that goal can be achieved with the policy?
With the policy, you see, you talk about benefits when at the end of the day you have a country. If this thing escalates, it can lead into war. It will get us into war that there might not be election. So what benefit are you talking about? There's no benefit at all because we are not prepared for it. There's no benefit. If you talk about those who have hoarded money to buy votes, these people will still find their way. Let me tell you, politicians will get money, but they might not be able to get up to the amount of money that they would have used ordinarily if there was no redesign of the currency. But they will. These bank managers are very corrupt. Not only the bank managers. You see, Nigerians find whenever they get opportunity, they use it to make money. If you go to, let me tell you, if you are ready to part with 300,000 naira, now you will get 700,000 naira of the design note. So how has it affected the politicians? After all, these politicians did not work for the money. They used biro to add zeros and get this money. So they don't care. They can part with this money. So it's not going to affect them at all. The only effect it will have is that if they are to share 10,000 naira per vote, they might be sharing 5,000. And that 5,000 will still get them the votes they will need to win election. So it's not it's a policy that is conceived by people that they are not great thinkers. They are ordinary people who don't think.
All right, that's interesting. Now, but let's move it now into more of the campaign updates we've been seeing. What do you think is happening between the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress and the president? Now, about yesterday or a day before, the governor of Kaduna State, Governor El-Rufai, on national television said that there are elements within the presidency that are trying to harm the presidential candidates. On the flip side, the presidential candidate people now call him the new opposition leader. He seems to be, saying some things that are not favorable to his own party. Just the other day, he says he uses they, he doesn't mention names, but I think people can discern what he's saying. He says they raised the dollar rate from 200 to 800. They don't know how to think. They don't know what they are doing. And you wonder, who is he talking about? If he is talking about the candidate, isn't he, president, I mean, isn't he shooting himself in the foot? So what do you think is really going on within the party, and why isn't it smooth? Why is there this rift?
The APC has been a confused political party. You know, it was the coming together of those of anger, frustration, and those who wanted to make a point because they were angry with Jonathan. So when angry men come together, at the end, this is the result. They are always fighting themselves. They are always attacking themselves. Of course, from the statement of Asiwaju, he was referring to the president. So, and if he's referring to the president, who is the leader of the party, and he is the candidate of the party, you can see that they are confused people. And it is the confusion of the party that has put us into the situation that we are now in the country, and the entire country is confused. So that is what is happening. The candidate is referring to and let me tell you, it is because there are feelers that Asiwaju is the one who has hoarded the money, and he wants to use that money for vote buying. And maybe because of the decency of the president in another part, he wants a free and fair election. So they have decided to redesign the Naira so that those old notes with him will become useless. So, and he is the one, of course, he is the richest candidate among all of them. He is the richest candidate. He is the one that he has the capacity to buy votes. So that is why he is the opposition leader. Now he's worried. He's crying. Meanwhile, they are the one in government. This is because he is if he has not hoarded money, why should he be disturbed? It is not because of that he is feeling for Nigerians. No, not at all. It is because it will affect his chances that those monies cannot be completely used. Of course, he will be able, the money is much. So, of course, he'll be able to change some, but not all again, the way he'll be able to buy votes. That's just the reason why he's shouting. If not, ordinarily, he should be in line with whatever policy this is their government. Yes, he's part of it. The majority of the ministers came through him, and the president is his friend. So why is he worried? And why is he shouting? He is even shouting more than all the opposition parties.
You know, people say that the president is a bit aloof or neutral because his name is not on the ballot. He's not the one who's getting the votes this time, and so he doesn't care. And perhaps the APC candidate was not his preferred candidate. What do you make of this?
The president knows that he has failed woefully, and maybe he wants to give Nigerians a credible election so that he can redeem his reputation. So I think that should be the reason, not that if the president wanted another candidate and he really meant it, he would have done it. What does it take? The president of any country in Africa is very powerful. It's just that he didn't really mean it. If he meant it, he would have gotten it. It's internal party affairs where you can call governors to order. You can also intimidate some, although that is not the lifestyle of the president.
Oh, that's fair enough. Now, moving over to the main opposition, the PDP. In an interview recently, the presidential candidate said, while being asked about the SPV accusations and all that, and he was asked if it was his voice, it was in the the audio, and categorically he didn't deny. He just says nothing new was there, and people are wondering about issues relating to corruption and how clean he will be as a president. How do you think his response might have affected that idea that people have?
Well, I am not speaking for Atiku, but I also want to let you know that, and let Nigerians know that all of them aspiring to be president will do the same thing to be able to finance their party. How is APC financing their party? How is the president financing APC? And how are they getting the money that they are financing? You make contributions. There are certain things that you need. In short, we should even commend the Wazir of Adama for saying that, for advising his principal. That is, if he was the one who said so in that issue of Mike Achimugu, before I come to the character of the person who posted that video, anything relating to the SPV, that there should not be open corruption. We should do certain things so that they get contracts so that they can fund the party. I think it's not a new thing in the in party politics.
Isn't it wrong? Isn't that corruption?
If it is, if you say it is corruption, what you should also know is that there is no political party in power since 1999 that has not been engaged in something like that to fund the party. It means what we need to do is to look at the constitution and see how the political party can really be funded. How do you fund the political parties? The members of the political party don't make contributions. They don't. Usually the monies come from those in government. So what the man is using, and because I am privileged to certain information, I also know the Achimugu of a person as I speak to you is in London. Achimugu got some money from the opposition to do all of these things. So even those who are saying, talking about the SPV, they are worse than what the Wazir of Adama is alleged to have said. So there's nothing new in party politics. What we should do is to see how we can be able to make it better. But certainly that is the way usually all the political parties are funded.
What if they say that you can't prove it? You know?
Which one you can't prove it? I was in APC. I can prove even in APC.
You saw these things happen.
It is worse in APC. It is worse in APC. So it is not. There's nothing new about that. If you are talking about corruption, I think, in my opinion, Atiku Abubakar seems to be better in terms of corruption than any other candidate, aspiring for the position of the presidency come 2023. So these people just talk about corruption, okay. Well, are you aware that all of this, there are certain things you need to, all this, there are some things some of these candidates do that you can't even find Atiku do that. When Peter Obi was governor of Anambra State, the state's money was used in a company that has interest. Okay, that one is also is honesty. So there are some things. These are the things we are talking about. This one is talking about a political party that does not belong to him. It belongs, the political party, the PDP, that he was vice president at that time, belongs to Nigeria, who are members of the party. It's not, and the money, as Chimugu was talking about, didn't go to Atiku Abubakar's account. It went to an account that will be used for the progress of the party. So these Nigerians should not look at that and judge Atiku Abubakar.
No, it's that is your perspective, and it's an interesting one. So let's move on now. Generally, we're seeing we're almost at the last laps, where the biggest momentum, where all the candidates want to have one final grand presence to end their campaigns. So how would you rate this campaign season so far? Some say it has been divisive, some say some persons talk to issues, others insulted, and so on and so forth. How would you rate it, in terms of how sane or how calm it has been, if it has been so, compared to past election cycles?
Because the different geopolitical zones have presidential candidates. The Southeast has a candidate that is popular in the person of Peter Obi. Northeast, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, and then Northwest has a candidate, and Southwest has a candidate. So that is the reason why the tension. But I think, in my opinion, two persons have been more decent in their campaign, and that is Peter Obi and Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. They have been more decent. They talk to people when they go for their campaign, and they make more sense to me. In the case of the APC presidential candidates, maybe as a result of is it senility, I would call it, all they do is to put music and dance so as to confuse those who have come. Like he was in Kano State, and over 500,000 people gathered, but he could not speak to them for a minute. All he did was to talk, dance, raise hand, and he didn't tell them. There was nothing he said. So, but these two candidates have been talking, and I think they have shown decency in their campaign.
All right, so it's interesting that you put them together. People believe that I don't use the word existence, but the candidacy of both candidates actually helps the ruling party, because votes will be split along opposition. What do you make of that? Do you think that's what we're going to see, a situation where even if the APC doesn't win with a landslide, with the votes that they have, due to vote splitting on the side of the opposition, that they end up winning?
Which of the opposition political parties?
Talking about the Labour Party, actually, I mean, when you break it down, the Labour Party, the NMPP, and PDP all have one or connection or another to PDP. The NMPP candidate was from the PDP, Peter Obi was from the PDP, and now we have the issue, the elephant in the room. We have the issue of the G5 governors. Governor Wike promised that he would name his candidate in January, but he didn't do so. But now he has said that he has told the people of his states who to vote, that he didn't promise to tell the rest of us, but he has done that, and he didn't say that it's Atiku. And we also see people like Femi Fani-Kayode of the APC actually counting the G5 governors as APC, part of the APC squad. So that being said, when I say votes splitting, I mean amongst that line where we have Kwankwaso, Obi, Atiku, and then Wike, vote splitting. What do you think?
Let me start with the G5 governors. I pity them because they are political orphans. That is what I call them. And
that's interesting.
When you look at the governor of Abia State, who was busy trying to make the PDP national leadership his own enemy. At the end of the day now, I think the candidate in the state is dead. So now, who will conduct the primary election? As I speak to you, I don't know where he is, but anywhere he sees Iyoshi Ayu, the national chairman, he will kneel down and begin to beg, because the national chairman will arrange and the NWC for a primary, and will also write, a person who cannot write letter to INEC to inform INEC that the candidate is dead. It is the political party. So you see, I must also commend Senator Iyoshi Ayu for his magnanimity and uprightness in leadership. It is because he is playing a fatherly role in the PDP that the likes of Wike can be dragging PDP like this. He has been very patient. The leadership of the PDP has capacity to deal with them. They are nobody without PDP. Who is Wike without PDP? So they have been left, and today now, one of them is already suffering, and all of them they will come begging. So why will Wike go to, when he was making noise all about, was he not on air? On everywhere he was making noise. Now that he's supposed to talk about who to support, why is he going into his bedroom before he will say they should support a particular candidate? He should have come out to say it. The four of them, with the exception of Wike, are contesting election. They are candidates. And especially Makinde, I pity him. How will you win your second term? How can you tell your people, if they don't vote for Atiku in the presidential election, if Atiku does not win, it will affect him, because the truth of the matter is that only two political parties have capacity to win the presidential election: the candidate of the APC, Asiwaju, and the candidate of the PDP, Atiku. Only two of them have capacity, because there's a constitutional requirement for you to be president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You must at least win one quarter. You win the total vote cast in at least 24 states. You must win to get 25%. That's one quarter of the total vote cast. So if this constitutional requirement can only be met by 2 candidates, let's take, for example, in the Northwest, you have 7 states: Kaduna, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, Sokoto, Zamfara, Jigawa. These 7 states, the candidate of the NNPP and the candidate of the Labour Party cannot get 25%. So you minus the candidate of the Labour Party cannot get 25%, with the exception of because the candidate of NNPP can even win a state in Northwest. He is only popular in just 1 state, and that is Kano State, where he was governor before. Any other state he is not popular, so he cannot reduce the vote of Wazir of Adamawa in the Northwest. It can only affect a little in Kano State, and that is 1 out of 7 states. So now, in all of these 7 states, P2B cannot get 25%. If you go to Northeast, you have states like Bauchi, Gombe, Yobe, Borno, Taraba. I think it's remaining 1. I think it should be 7 states. Adamawa. So now, these 6 states now, P2B cannot get 25% in Borno, Yobe, Gombe. I don't want to talk about Bauchi, Taraba, and Adamawa. So take 4 again. If you have minus 7 before, you have 30 states with Abuja left. So minus 4, 26. If you come to Niger, then he cannot get 25. Then he cannot get in Kwara. These are states in North Central. He cannot get. So now he cannot get in Kwara. He cannot get in Osun. So at least, at most, he will get in 23 states. The constitutional requirement is not met. So cancelled, he cannot win. This analysis is very important, so that the obedience do not cause trouble when their candidate lose the election, because they feel that because some few drivers in Abuja are putting OB, that is Nigeria is very big. Where do they know? I am talking, I'm calling the states. I have been to these states. Even his Anambra, where he comes from, I have lived there for at least a month campaigning for a candidate who was running for governorship election. So we can talk about all states. So now if you come that of the NNPP, his own is even worse, because all the states in Northwest, in Southwest, he cannot get 25%. 6 states: Ekiti, Ondo, Osun, Ogun, Oyo, Lagos. He cannot get 25% in all of these states. Go to North Central. North Central, the 6 states, I think plus Abuja, he cannot get. South, if there's anywhere we might manage 25%, maybe Edo. So now, in more than 15 states, he cannot get 25%. So where will he go? So these candidates should not even be put into consideration when analyzing those that are in contention for the presidency. The 2 candidates who will get the 25% in more than 24 states are Asiwaju and Atiku. So what is left for them is who will get the highest vote to become the president, and these are the candidates that are contesting election. So all others, they are into it, they are not into a real contest. It is between APC and PDP. So that is the issue on ground, and not what people feel just because of. Let me tell you, when Asiwaju went to Kano, at least, because the crowd I saw there, at least over 500,000 people were gathered. But conduct election on that ground, Kwankwaso might win. It is not the crowd. When Asiwaju went to Adamawa, there was crowd, but conduct election on that ground, Atiku will win. So
anyway, 500,000 seems quite lofty, but away from that, the analysis you've made now that you've broken down, those little states where you gave pardon the use of that language, little states, those states, the states you mentioned where the other 2 candidates might get some votes, the question now, or the issue now, is people believe that those votes would have ideally been votes for Atiku Abubakar, because Kwankwaso was a PDP member, Obi was a PDP member. So in all those states, it seems as though those votes that are being removed are lessening Atiku's quota at the end of the day, and you say this is a 2-horse race. So doesn't it favor the APC candidate? At the end of the day, how can he pull off a win? If you, especially if you also add the G5 governor issue, I don't know how they would go their ways.
Let me inform you that my field of expertise is in precision in political predictions. And I want to let you know that as of today, all the states in Northwest, with the exception of Kano, Atiku is winning. And the Kano that is
but
still...
How? The Northwest is... The governors there are mainly from the APC. Yes. So how is it happening?
Yes. They are APC, but they are not totally in control of the state. Don't forget that it is the APC that has impoverished Nigerians. The hunger and the frustration is what they will use to attack APC on the day of election by refusing to vote for the APC. This is because the frustration is so much now that the practical example is what happened in Katsina and in Kano. When the president went there, let me tell you that in the past, people even pay money, their own hard-earned money, just to see Buhari. But he was stoned in Kano. Stoned in Kano, stoned in Katsina, his own state. So that is the reason, that is a pointer to tell you that the electorates are angry with APC, they are frustrated, and they will not vote for APC. The governors are there. They are still there. They are still the governors, and they are in APC. But yet the president has been stoned. The president has a followership that since 1999, nobody can come close to him. But today they are stoning him. So that is to tell you that the APC governors who cannot do anything, the votes are for Waziri of Adamawa. That is for the North-West. If you go to Northeast, even when Buhari that was passionately loved in the North, contested with Waziri in 2019, Atiku defeated him in Taraba. So, defeated him in Adamawa, where his wife comes from, the secretary to the government of the federation, the former secretary to the government of the federation, the stakeholders from APC, yet Atiku defeated him. And you could see, and we believe that the election was even rigged, that Atiku won the election. So that is, by the way. So Atiku he's in charge of the Northeast, Northwest. So the entire North is for Atiku. So with that, all he needs to do is to... And even with Peter Obi, Atiku will get the constitutional requirement from all the states in Northeast. And Atiku is winning Akwa Ibom State, is winning Delta State, these states with wide margin. With all the things Wike is doing, Atiku will get reasonable vote because they are stakeholders, those who are more powerful than the governor, except that he has executive power. But when it comes to local politics, those that are more powerful than him are in support of Atiku. So they will bring in votes. When you look at all of this, these things I'm telling you are practical. That is what will happen, and that is how Atiku will win this election. But he will not be with very wide margin, but he will win convincingly and comfortable in a way that Asiwaju will not be able to go to court out of shame, because it will not be good for a man as honorable as Asiwaju to go to court where he is defeated convincingly, because it's going to be very clear. And with the use of beavers, the rigging will be minimized. So he's going to see it as a clear winning, that he will have nothing but to congratulate his friend, because Atiku is his friend. To congratulate his friend. So that is the situation. If you go to North Central, Kogi State is for Atiku. Niger State, that one, what they are doing there, I must commend the former governor Babangida Aliyu for what he's doing in Niger State. The entire state is for Atiku. I even heard that the young man who is contesting governor in the APC there can no longer go out to campaign again because of the frustration. Anywhere he goes, his PDP, they are shouting.
Oh, that's interesting. Those are very confident words for your namesake there. But anyway, thanks for coming. Thanks for your analysis and for breaking it down. Hopefully you can come back sometime soon and get some, on the up-to-date analysis leading up to the elections, where we'll finally see if your predictions are correct. We also like to have you back after the elections to speak on the aftermath. Thanks for coming today.
Thank you very much.